Is this the best Oban cask strength we've had so far? I'm Jeff, this is Whiskey. Stick around. Alright, a fun one today. We're looking at Oban. Oban is easily one of my favorite brands. I like the 14, I like the Little Bay, I like the American special release, the 18-year-old special release. But what we're looking at today is where I think the brand really shines, and that's the Diageo special releases. I have looked at this entire series before on the channel. We've done the 12-year-old Wolf one, we've done the 10-year-old Space Rabbit, the 11-year-old Rum one, and today we're looking at the 10-year-old Flower one. Not their official names, by the way. Coastal Orchid. That's what it's called. The special release series is Oban at its finest. It's cask strength, it's age stated, it's got a wonderful intensity, and it lets the distillate shine. And Oban is a fantastic distillate, at least I think so. And if you're like me and you like coastal profiles, it is something you'll get along with. This one has been matured in refill casks and finished in charred American Oloroso sherry casks. So no rum here, nothing too experimental. We got Oban and sherry casks, which sounds good to me. Granted, my favorite one so far was that 12-year-old Wolf one, which was fully refill bourbon matured, but as long as our sherry casks aren't too loud and they don't overwhelm the distillate, no problem with sherry. Now, if you know me and you know the channel, you know that this is a bottle that I was very much looking forward to trying. I am a little bit late on this one. This came out in 2024. Obviously, we are early 2025. Not even that early, March 2025. We get things late. So, yeah. So far, I have heard a lot of good things about this one. Some people online have even gone so far as to say that this is the best of the special releases, which is a very bold claim, and I'm very curious to find out if that's true, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. For our specs, we got a nice round 58% as our ABV. This is probably non-chill filtered, and it's probably natural color, but I don't know. For looks, I think this is nice. The Diageo special release bottles are always very eye-catching. This one's no different. I think this is a not so subtle way of hinting that we might have some floral flavors in this one, but it looks great. 4.5 out of 5. No info on color or chill filtration on the label. It does say cask strength. It does tell us what casks were used, so at least there is that. Beyond that, not a lot of information here. Does look nice. On the nose, we do get sherry up front. I wouldn't call it a sherry bomb, but it is very sherry forward. We get some sweet red fruits, we get some caramel-coated candied apples, and we get some strawberry jam. We also get some apple turnovers in here, some berry turnovers, some like fruit confections. There are some florals in this. I'm not a flower guy. I don't remember what orchids smell like. I get a little bit of like rose water in here. Tulips maybe, I don't know. I also get some maraschino cherries in here, maybe some grenadine, and here's a fun one. Mountain Dew Code Red. Now, I don't know how many of you out there have tried it. I don't know that there's a big overlap between single malt drinkers and Mountain Dew Code Red, but I get Mountain Dew Code Red. On the palate and finish, this is sweet and salty up front. I get salted caramel, I get candied red fruit, candied apples, there's some cherries in here, there's some berries. There's cherry candy in here like red gummy bears, there's orange hard candy, there's canned pineapple in here. There's some ginger in here. There's plenty of sweet florals. There is orange Fanta, and you guessed it, Mountain Dew Code Red. Do the do. Alright, so this stuff is fantastic. I'm a big fan, and I know that some of you are probably a little bit apprehensive after hearing some of those tasting notes, because I was going on about candy notes and soda notes and very sweet florals, and those are definitely in here, but they work. We get some nice ginger notes in here, as well as some slightly sour flavors that do help temper some of that sweetness from like the candy notes and the soda notes. Those notes are definitely in here. They're quite forward, but they're never cloying. However, this is a sweet whiskey. I would say the sweetness here is kind of like if you took 2/3 of a gummy bear and 1/3 of a Sour Patch Kid and threw them together. Scientifically speaking. Again, not too sure if I'm speaking to my demographic with that reference, but if you are an Oban fan and also a 6-year-old child who loves gummy candies, man, you're gonna love this one. I do think this strikes a really nice balance as long as you're okay with this going in a caskier direction and definitely a sweeter direction, which I know is not going to be all of you, but some of you, a lot of you, are really going to enjoy this one. I think it does have broad appeal. Now, for the big question of the day, how does this rank out of the Oban special releases? So far, we've had 4 of them, And I would put this one at number 3. My favorite is still that 12-year-old Wolf one. Amazing stuff. Then at number 2, I'd have the 10-year-old Space Rabbit. And then at number 3, I'd have this Flower one. But honestly, they've all been epic. Not you. Yeah, that Caribbean rum one was definitely the odd one out in the series. Was it bad? No, but considering the caliber of the other bottles in this series, it was definitely a disappointment. At least it was for me. And I think for a lot of people too. Then again, at the time I did score an 86. Now that I've just finished the bottle this week, I would probably bring that down to about an 84 or 85. I don't think it was the most balanced whiskey, but it was still a good whiskey. But luckily with this one, I do feel like we're back on track. I think this is a really nice, intense, sweet, characterful whiskey. It does do something different. It adds something new to the series. Yes, we have seen sherry casks before in the line with the Space Rabbit 10-year-old, but the sherry casks here are much more intense, sweeter, more forward. For score here, I'm going to land on 87. I might have gone a little bit higher if it wasn't quite so sweet. Now, this is not so sweet that it throws off the balance or that it becomes cloying at any point, but it's just, for me personally, I do think it could have been dialed back a little bit. But of course, that is a nitpick. But then again, everything I do here on YouTube is nitpicking. And yeah, for me, 87. Ultimately, though, it is a fantastic whiskey. I'm happy to have it. I've already purchased a backup. This is a worthy contribution to the series. And this is just a line of whiskeys that never fails to impress. Except for that time that it failed to impress. Now, before we jump into value, I do want to really quickly beg for your money. For those of you who are already supporting on Patreon and PayPal, thank you very much. And if you want to help out, if you want to help keep me financially sustainable and independent, there are a number of ways that you can help. I've got Patreon and PayPal linked down below. Every little bit helps. And again, massive thank you if you're already supporting. Now, let's check out value. All right, for value, I think we're looking pretty good here. What I paid in my market is close to about $90 US, which I think is not bad. I believe that's actually the cheapest Oban special release we've had so far. The other ones have all been over 100 US. So even though it's not my favorite, I think it's fantastic bang for buck, and I do think it's worth picking up for that price. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, as always. And of course, I want to hear from you. So have you tried the 2024 Oban special release? How would you compare it to the previous ones? How much did you pay? Did you think it was worth it? Let me know all of that down below. Also down below, you can let me know what you want to see me review down the line, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.